unit. Incentive under this policy should be extended collectively on the power sourced from various sources like open access, captive generation, and power source from DISCOM, of course. We also appreciate Government of Maharashtra for the incentives given on electricity charges in the textile policy. We also propose more addition and alterations to this policy, like extension of subsidy of ₹2 per unit on the electricity charges for the power sourced from open access and generated captively also, because that will make more viable for the industries to lower down their power cost. The directions to be given to the regulators for the method of calculation of load factor incentive. Earlier in the textile policy 1823, there was a provision of calculating load factor incentive combinedly for DISCOM power and power source from other sources, but I don't know, that was not materialized. So industries are not able to take full advantage of this textile policy incentive in that case. So further, we would like to draw your kind attention towards the renewable energy policy of the state from the perception of the textile manufacturing units. In the region like us, whose major competitors are in the neighboring states like Gujarat and Union Territory Silvassa. In the neighboring state, the REC policies are very user-friendly and in direct line with the notification of Government of India, Ministry of Power. But in Maharashtra, we don't have that much friendly policy. There are some differences in the policies of Gujarat and Maharashtra. There are 4-5 points in that. We request Government of Maharashtra to address these issues, and definitely it will help industries going forward to lower down their cost of production and to compete with the competitors in the neighboring states. There are some 7 points we demand. We will give our representation in writing also, sir. Sir, it is from industry perception. Sir, the vision of fiber to fabric as laid down in our textile policy shall be realized only if we provide adequate government support, not only through textile policy but also in the connected RE policies impacting the power cost. As we all know, the textile industry is the second largest employment creator. So in order to make the dream reality, in view of the aspiration of the state government to achieve $1 trillion economy with the adequate generation of employment, this support is essential for the textile sector in general. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, please stay back for the felicitation. I'll help you.
Thank you so much, Madam. Srimati Dipali ji Wankhede. And just after this important discussion with the Honorable Minister, I would request Shri Prashant Ji Mohta to kindly felicitate Srimati Dipali Ji Wankhede. Thank you so much. माननीय मंत्री महोदय श्री संजय जी सावकरे, आप यहाँ हमारे बीच आए और आपने अपना समय हमें दिया, महत्वपूर्ण जानकारियां हम सभी के साथ साझा की और हमारा मार्गदर्शन किया, पथ प्रदर्शन किया। एक बार जोरदार तालियां, आपके आभार भरी तालियां माननीय मंत्री महोदय श्री संजय जी सावकरे के लिए अवश्य अवश्य बजे। आगे बढ़ते हुए हम आपको ले चलते हैं अगले वक्तव्य की ओर, जो हमारे लिए लेकर आएंगे श्री योगेश जी नवनकर, डायरेक्टर पीआरएन टेक्सटेक्स, और ये बात करेंगे रिसाइकलिंग पर।
नहीं, so there's some generator problem. Very sorry about this. I'll just
Yeah, I think it's total.
let me check with the organizers. Just give me 5 minutes.
Yeah, नहीं तेज करो. Power नहीं. क्या करूँ, चालू करूँ क्या? So, hello everybody. I am Yogesh Navandar from PRN TechTex, and I'll be talking on textile waste recycling basically. So, you have heard a lot of about increasing the capacities, increasing the our overall textile industry, and with the advantage there is one disadvantage, which is we'll be generating more waste. So I should put it like this. So we have in recycling two types of waste from textile what we get. One we call it industrial waste, which are like from spinning mill you get a hard waste, from garment industry you get the cut waste, and the waste which is not used basically. So we can recycle those to bring back it to fiber. And there is other type of waste which is a garment waste. So in garment waste there are, again, cutting is one part, but you have used garment also. So in used garment also, in India in particular, we have two types of division in that garment. One is like we sell in second hand market, the garment. And other one, we have to recycle this to get back our thread or a non-woven. Screen chalu abhi? Okay. Power is back. I am lucky. So I just want to tell you something about how much textile waste generated in India annually. 15 lakh tons annually we are generating the waste. Okay. And we are seeing the beautiful mountains outside our cities. You go to Surat, Mumbai or any other city, and the same thing will happen here also. So, and in this mountain of the waste, you can consider 20 to 25% waste is from textiles. So now how to solve this issue? Okay, if you have a spinning mill, you have weaving, so those waste, okay, the millman can take it back and he can recycle. But what about the garment? So for that also everyone has to think on this subject, which is really a big issue as of now. निकाल दो ना टेक्सटाइल ये चालू नहीं होगा नहीं होगा आपके लैपटॉप से भी नहीं होगा हाँ ठीक है So, I am working with a company from Europe for India. So, they are into this textile waste recycling. And they are the oldest one. They are 100-year plus old company. And still they are innovating every day something on the waste recycling. So, as I was saying, the mountain of clothes, which is an issue. So how we can use this in how we can bring this back to our textile loop. So after the fabric, waste fabric, whatever it is, whether it is knitted fabric, woven fabric, yarn waste, or even shoes, or even whatever made out of fabric, but with the spun yarn, it should be made out of fiber, that we can recycle. And after getting the fiber, we have two products what we can make. One is either we make a yarn. So to make a yarn, you really want very good fiber. And second is non-woven. So here Kukreja ji is there, so you make a bed mattresses. So the next application is non-woven, where you can put any material inside and you can really make a good the bed. Here is what is the process, basically how we can make the recycled fiber. So it starts with textile collection, and then most important is the textile sorting, because sorting is key to your fiber quality you will be getting after recycling. So for you in fabric, you have different colors, different combination of fibers, polyester viscose, 100% cotton. So how to sort that also? So there are technologies developed, and there you can separate the fabric clips or even a garment by the color or by the composition of the fiber. So there are machines available who sort it automatically and they make the bale. So the first and foremost is important part for recycling is the sorting, because if your feed material is mixed, if you want to make 100% cotton and it is mixed with some other impurities, you will not get what you want basically. So sorting key to the recycling. Then you have a two process. One is the mechanical recycling. Mechanical recycling meaning you are tearing the fabric with the help of pins, rollers, and getting the fiber back. And second one is chemical. So chemical recycling, like if it is like what you see, PET bottle converted into a fiber or a yarn. So that is one. And other is now also the way we are making viscose fiber. Viscose fiber is what? It is wood pulp. So similar way, cotton is also a pulp. Basically, it's a cellulosic. So there are technologies under development. From that, you can make a virgin fiber. So hard waste I talked about. It can be a non-woven waste. It can be the textile industrial waste, which can be used immediately by the mills and spinning mills and all. And pre and post consumable waste. So pre is it is more or less like unused fabric, unused garment, and post consumable is used one. So these are the type of waste what we have to collect if you want to go with the recycling. So this is again I am showing the cycle. This is how the industrial waste line looks like. So what you will have is first two machines are like they are the cutters. So actually my final aim for recycling is to get a very good fiber length. And you will get a good fiber length if your feed material is made out of a good fiber length. So, and I want to make sure that I lose minimum length out of my original feed material. So first is cutting. So I cut the feed material to a length where I will not destroy my fiber length more. And then I do spraying, oil spraying, where I am putting moisture in the material. This is the key. Second key, first is the sorting proper. Second key is the moisture in the material. Because if you want to tear this fabric, then you have to have moisture inside. Otherwise, it will cut your fabric. The length of the fiber will be reduced to half. So normally, the good fiber, recycled fiber is like you reduce down your fiber length from the feed material by 20-25%. So this is an important part for recycling. Then you condition your cut material and then you put it into the tearing line. You can see here this particular portion is a tearing line where you have many cylinders. The number of cylinders, it depends on the type of material you are feeding. Like if you are feeding only hard waste, yarn waste, then you will not need 7 cylinder. If it is a fabric is a stronger, so you will need more energy. So I need more rollers to have a proper fiber length. And at the end, you put this into the bell press, and then you can add this with the virgin fiber. So for the quality of recycling, the important parameters what we see is fiber length. We achieve the best fiber length out of whatever feed material we have. Then very low NEPS content, unopened ends, they should be minimum, and the capacities of such type of line for making the spinning yarn is maximum 800 kg per hour. And if we are using same machine for non-woven application, it can go double because fiber length is not the criteria for that. So these are some production-based line configurations where you have the storage size increasing based on the capacity, blending bin. This is how, like if I'm opening the material in say 6 cylinder or 7 cylinder. So what will be how it will appear after every cylinder, it is shown in this fabric, in this slide. And for the denim manufacturer, so we also have a line where you can put directly the denim plant into the cutter. No need to remove zippers or buttons. There is one machine which will take care of it and cut your garment into pieces. And in case of denim, you may not need many number of cylinders because it's a coarse count and you will need less energy to open the fabric. So it is in the similar way, same for post-consumable garment recycling as well. This is how the post-consumable waste line looks like. And here the machine, what I was talking about, this is opening and cleaning machine where we can remove zippers, buttons mechanically. So it will be collected and then rest of the process remains the same. So this is the machine. So here I am putting up the example of the yarn counts. These are all open end. But today in India, some of our customers, they are using in any 40 ring spin 20% to 25% of recycled fiber. This is been done. So this is just an example, and I think spinning people can understand this very well. So just if someone is interested, if someone want to check their waste material, that what kind of fiber they can receive. So we can do that at our trial centers. So if anybody want to know, we can discuss this. And this is the globalized solution from waste to added value final product. This is what we are looking at from the recycling. So this is just one video, small video I am sharing. So just so this is the line. Done. So this is for the gray cut fabric knit clips, cutters. So these are the blending bins, what you have seen. Blending bins are required for storing the moisture in the material actually. This is the feeding tower going to the tearing machine. Feeding to first cylinder. So you can adjust the setting by looking at your fiber quality from outside the machine without stopping the machine. This is the delivery side of tearing machine, which is going to the bell press. So it's a double box. It is required so that you should not stop your machine, tearing machine. So it's fully automatic and you can have your bales labeled. Electrical cabinet. So whatever are the heavy particles under each cylinder, you get it dropping on the bottom conveyor and you feed this material back to your first cylinder. So it's otherwise it will like come as a yarn. So this is it. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Hey, check one.
Hello, myself is Prerna Ratnaparkhi. Actually, recently I submitted my PhD on development of eco-fashion articles from discarded fabric. Under this project, I realized that the waste material is always better. Waste material is reused is always better than recycling material because recycling materials produce carbon footprint or environment pollution. Is it right or I'm?
No, absolutely no. This is wrong. Actually, I will answer. Why this concept of recycling came? See, all the top brands, H&M, Decathlon, or whatever you name it, all the big brands, they are asking 25% recycled fiber in their garment. So, yarn, fabric made of 25% recycled fiber. Why they are asking this? Because, like natural fibers, if you are consider that 25% what you are adding, you are using as a virgin cotton. Means you are occupying how much of land, using how much of water. So those resources. So it is a good actually for carbon footprint. You are getting benefited basically. So it is absolutely wrong what you said.
Thank you, sir. Your presentation was nice and very thought-provoking.
Thank you so much. And requesting Mr. Vineet Mohta, Director.
One minute, madam.
There's one more
I
question.
have
All
a
right.
question. So I'm Dr. Anand Rao, retired from ACR Niri, Nagpur. Yeah? So we have been working for UNIDO and along with Ministry of Textiles for eliminating hazardous chemicals in the textile and apparel supply chain actually. We prepared a CEO endorsement document for global environmental facility for funding of the ministry, which has been approved now. In that, handling textile waste, pre-consumer and post-consumer waste was also a topic. There we have invoked the 9R concept, where all the post-consumer waste, which is used waste, so that needs to be handled and upcycled or recycled, whatever you say. Downcycling is also possible. So all these kind of recommendations we have given there. In that connection, there is one more program coming up, which is PAGE program, again Jeff-funded project. We are working again with the Ministry of Textiles and as well as Textile Committee of Maharashtra and other states also. So we are going to develop a roadmap for technologies to meet the Vision 2047 for Government of India. In that connection, we may be interested in discussing with you about how the waste handling, what is your vision about the waste handling, textile waste handling for 2047. So I would like to collect your visiting card and then discuss with you later on.
Thank you so much, sir. And requesting Mr. Vineet Mohta, Director Gimatex, to please felicitate our speaker, Mr. Yogesh Navandar, the Director, PRN Textiles. Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful talk. हमारे अगले वक्ता होंगे श्री अविनाश जी माइकर, एमडी सुविन, जिनका टॉपिक होगा टेक्निकल टेक्सटाइल. Our next speaker would be Mr. Avinash Maiker, who would be taking up a session on technical textile. Please welcome sir with a huge round of applause. दोनों हाथ मिलाइए, जोरदार तालियों के साथ हमारे सभी वक्ताओं का एक के बाद एक स्वागत अवश्य करिए.
Thank you very much. Thanks to Advantage Vidarbha for giving me this platform. I always consider Vidarbha as a whole as a tiger. Any guess why? No, I consider Vidarbha as a tiger. Not actually for that, but Vidarbha, the way tiger has a lot of strength, Vidarbha also has very good strength, very good capability to capture any of the prey and rule the world. But just like the tiger which I have captured, most of the time it is silent. It doesn't work all the time. Though it covers so many kilometers in a day, it has a territory of almost 50 kilometers. But it is not roaming, it is not taking initiatives. Whatever comes to it, it just grabs it. I think Vidarbha textile industry is also like a tiger. You have capabilities, you have resources, you have people. Now what is required is to take a bigger leap. And that's why I'm thinking that technical textile as a field would be the right thing for you from the product basket point of view. And why? Because most of you have gone through good times, bad times, and it is not easy to reap profits. But technical textiles, if at all you are successful, if at all you are into it, you are going to reap profits very easily. Entire textile value chain, since morning we are going through so many presentations, so many talks, so many lectures, and most of you are from textile industry, so I am not at all looking at it as a solution or as a point to be discussed over here, and my topic is also only technical textiles. As all of you are aware, there are 12 sectors. Each and every sector has its own merits, demerits. How to go about it? Technical textile is growing globally with a rapid pace. Same thing is happening with India, and that's where we need to concentrate more. Because earlier, rather till now, the growth was in double digit. It will be 12% by the year 2035. And our Amrit Kal, somebody was talking about 2047. By that, it would be just 8% CAGR, but we are targeting almost $309 billion US as the target, which has been set by our government. Now, what should be our focus? Though there are 12 sectors, though there are many things which can happen, I think we need to be very focused as far as our approach is concerned. As far as India is concerned, I think we need to scan the existing scenario. How is the global scenario? Where are we? How we should go about it? We should know that what are our strengths. The way I said that in case of Vidarbha, you have strengths, you are logistically you are at a place from where you can cater to almost entire India. At the same time, you have lot many resources. Likewise, India is also having lot many strengths. We need to strategize our roadmap, how we can go about as far as our future business ideas are concerned. We need to select technology, because as an investor, you cannot think of putting up all the technologies with you. Yogesh has just now talked about the recycling technology. Likewise, there are many technologies which we can think of. Similarly, if at all we are into this technical textile as a business, then we need to know that marketing plays very important role. That is the key. So it is not easy for somebody to just come out of a technical textile product and sell it in the market. You should know that it is an engineered product. Whatever products you will come to know about technical textiles, all of them are engineered products. Means what? The product is there, you need to produce that as per its qualities, as per the properties which are required for that particular industry. Similarly, we need to encourage players who can come to technical textiles. Textile Minister of Maharashtra was here. They are working out with policies. We are also giving them many feedback about the policies. And similarly, we need to do afterwards, once that much market is there, we need to have our own machinery marketing. All said and done, if at all today we don't think of environment, then we will not be in business tomorrow. This is very, very clear. So if at all we want to be in business tomorrow, we need to take care of the nature. And we need to have green initiatives. Now most of the players, as Yogesh was also saying, H&M, Zara, all of them are saying that you need to have recycled fibers. Why? Because when you are using recycled fibers, you are taking care of environment. These are the green initiatives which are required, like Care Nature. Focus on natural fibers. Most of the natural fibers also can be used by using various technologies. And then recycle, reuse and reduce. That should be the mantra for future. Our Pradhan Mantri has already said 5F. That should be our focus, from farm to fiber, fiber to factory, factory to fashion, and then to foreign. Of course, each technology has its own merits. So by using certain technologies which are there of technical textiles, we can have certain product range. For example, for hygiene or medical textiles, you can use spunless technology. You can use spunbound technology for geotech, hygiene, as well as build-tech. Recycling and needle punch, these are, I'm clubbing them together, but especially needle punch, we can use for geotextiles, Indutech, as well as mobile tech, that is automobile sector, which is growing with rapid pace in India. And those who are already into weaving sector, they can use oven technical textile for build tech as well as geotech. I will show you some pictures also. And then other technologies, warp knitting and stitch bonding, for which you can use for sport tech as well as home tech. As all of us are aware from engineering point of view, each and every technology has its own life. So it has certain stages of life like embryonic stage, growth stage, mature stage and aging stage. When we talk of aging stage, means those technologies we should not think of because they are already aged. And when we talk of embryonic, they are still in the pilot stage. So we don't know whether they will be successful or not. So growth stage and mature stage in which the technologies we have spelled out like needle punch technology or spunless technology, melt blown technology, these are the technologies we should think of from the future point of view. Now looking at the growth rate which is happening, we should know that we can do something for which there is a growth rate. So we have mapped various technologies, various product baskets like Buildtech, Intech, Mobiltech, Meditech and Protech. They are having more than 10% growth rate. So these are the, you can say, product sectors in which there is a lot of business which can come and there would be a lot of consistency in getting business. Recycling I will not touch as Yogesh has already mentioned. But there are also opportunities for woven textiles like coated technical textiles. You can have parachute fabric, you can have truck covers, you can have tent material. Similarly, architectural membranes can be produced by using woven textiles, by using coating. And high performance fabrics like parachute or airbag. We should know that in case of technical textiles, there is no, you cannot sell it as seconds. Once it is produced, either it is being used or you are out of the market. From the Vidarbha perspective, I would say that a lot of tourists are coming. Being a tiger capital of India, lot many tourists are coming, so lot of camouflage fabric can be thought of. Again, we are at the central location, so this fabric can be also produced as well as sent to other locations. Medical textiles is another field which is growing again with has very good potential. We have seen during COVID, lot many plants have come in and cotton pads, cotton wipes, disposable bed sheets, disposable gowns, as well as earbuds. These are the products which can be produced. Similarly, other non-woven opportunities are there by using needle punch technology like filter fabric. However, I would suggest what should be the roadmap for growth. We need to see that how is the domestic market. Because most of the technical textiles, they are voluminous, so you can't transport them easily. Other than the consumable goods which can be produced over here and exported, otherwise most of the products would be sold in the local market. So we should know that how is the local market. We need to come out with our R&D facilities and innovative tactics, how we can produce these fabrics. Sustainability, as I said, that is the last word. Other than that, we just cannot be in business. We need to constantly monitor the quality which we are going to produce. We need to be cost efficient, and any time and every time we need to see how I can reduce my cost, how I can do the vendor management, how I can do the sourcing of fabric which is required or maybe fibers, how I can add value to my products, whether I can go up to the conversion or I have to stick to the fabric level. These are the value addition tips, and I would suggest that if at all you are coming with highly engineered products, we need to have joint ventures. These joint ventures are done previously or after producing it. That depends upon type of the product and need of your partner. We have Advantage India now. After the budget, we have seen that lot many policies have come which are in favor of our textile industry. At the same time, for our country, with whatever relationship, trade war which is happening in between US and China, you will see that there is Advantage India. There are duties which are getting increased for China as well as for other countries, whereas for us, US has maintained same duty regime, so that is advantage to us. How we will achieve it? We need to be innovative in marketing. We need to come out with trial runs, whatever product we are thinking of. We need to have perfect certification and systems in place. We need to come out with behavioral pattern study of the product which we will be producing. We need to have economy of scale by which we would be more cost effective, and we need to have continuous monitoring of the quality. These are the few profiles which we have prepared. You can just go through it. That waste recycling, woven technical textile, coating lamination, digital printing, bleach cotton with conversion, recycled needle punching and use spunless line. These are the various options which we have prepared, which has various investment levels. Each and every has its own charm. Each and every one has its own markets. And profitability, you will see that across most of the sectors, you will get the payback period, which is in between 2 to 4 or 2 to 5 years. This is what is the attractive feature of technical textiles by which you can reap profits. Of course, we need to develop our strategy how to enter into this particular market. We need to come out with consulting people who can give you right solutions. At the same time, with that, you can hit the right target. If at all you want to reap profits, you need to be in technical textiles. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for that enlightening session. And to felicitate, sir, I would like to call upon the co-convener for the Textiles at Advantage Vidarbha, Mr. Nitin Srivastav. Thank you so much, sir. It is now time for a panel discussion. And to moderate the panel discussion, we shall have Mr. Prashant Mahotsav, the director at Gimatex Industries Private Limited. And for the panelists, we shall have Mr. Nitin Srivastav, the CEO of Raymond & Mr. Vedanta Agrawal from the Surya Lakshmi Industries, the MD of Surya Lakshmi Industries, also Ms. Kamakshi Verma, the policy consultant for the government of Maharashtra, Mr. Vedesh Ramkumar from the Innovative Textiles Limited, and also Mr. Naveen Randed from Shri Bhagirath Textiles Limited. Requesting all of you to please welcome our moderator and the panelists as well with a huge round of applause. आप सभी से अनुरोध कि हमारे मॉडरेटर और सभी पैनलिस्ट का हम दोनों हाथ मिलाकर जोरदार तालियां बजाकर अवश्य स्वागत करें। मैं जानती हूं हम सभी सुबह से लगे हुए एडवांटेज विदर्भ को हम सभी के लिए और विदर्भ की जनता के लिए एडवांटेजेस बनाने के लिए, मगर थकना और रुकना हम विदर्भ वासियों का काम नहीं है, इसीलिए एनर्जी कम मत होने दीजिए, तालियां लगातार बजती रहे। ओवर टू यू आवर मॉडरेटर श्री प्रशांत जी मोहता। थैंक
यू मैम। I know last event of the session है, not easy to have crowd, particularly textile में तो और भी ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम्स इतनी ज्यादा है कि लोग उससे फाइट करते करते अपना समय व्यतीत कर देते हैं कि एक इंपॉर्टेंट डे जहां पे मंत्री जी जैसे लोग यहाँ मौजूद है, गवर्नमेंट के भी रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स हमारे साथ हैं, उन्हें हमारी प्रॉब्लम बताने की बात ही भूल जाते हैं कि आज हमारा कितना महत्वपूर्ण दिन है। बट एनीवे आई थिंक जो है उनसे ही हमें बात करनी है। आई वुड लाइक टू रियली वेलकम ऑल दी एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हु आर सिटिंग ऑन द पैनल। हमारा जो सेशन था इट वाज बेसिकली अंडर एडवांटेज विदर्भा, हाउ वी कैन मेक श्योर दैट विदर्भा बिकम्स द एपिसेंटर फॉर ग्रोथ, पर्टिकुलरली फॉर टेक्निकल टेक्सटाइल एंड अपैरल। एंड जैसा कि हमने शुरू में मैंने डिस्कस भी किया कि अपैरल में ग्रोथ चाहिए तो हमें प्रोसेसिंग की तरफ भी ध्यान देने की जरूरत है, तो इन एरियाज में कैसे ग्रोथ लाया जाए उस पर हमारा ये पैनल डिस्कशन जो है ये आधारित रहने वाला है, दैट हाउ टू मेक विदर्भा द नेक्स्ट बिग डेस्टिनेशन फॉर दिस। सो वेलकमिंग ऑल माय पैनलिस्ट, द panel I will be moderating in a way where I would take 3 different topics. One will be the infrastructure which is needed in Vidarbha for this. The second will be the skills. Third will be the policy changes which you desire. ये 3 हम अलग अलग सभी से लेना चाहेंगे और फिर हम हर टॉपिक के बाद गवर्नमेंट रिप्रेजेंटेटिव हमारी मैडम हैं उनसे पूछेंगे कि what she has view on it and what is government thinking on the same topic. So this is the way I would like to structure. सो फर्स्ट टॉपिक जैसा मैंने कहा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, सॉरी एक मिनट, तो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट डिस्कशन जैसा कहा कि हमारे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे हमने बहुत बात कर ली, बहुत अच्छा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, बट अभी और क्या कमी है मैं इंडिविजुअली हमारे जो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव है लेट मी ask everyone to introduce the sectors which they are dealing with, so then we will actually understand where the inputs are coming from. So एक बार आप अपना नाम, अपना डेसिग्नेशन और अपने सेक्टर जिसको आप रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, it's a very diverse sector, all sectors are we have covered from textile, starting from Vaidesh.
Hi there, I am the MD of Innovative Textiles, Nagpur. We are into fabric processing, dyeing, printing, yarn dyeing, and also garment exports.
Hi, this is Nitin Srivastav. I am from Raymond and I take care of denim operations of fabric as well as the garmenting.
Yes.
Hi. Hi, I'm Vedant Agarwal. I'm a director at Surya Lakshmi Cotton Mills Limited. We are an integrated textile player from fiber to denim fabrics.
Hi, my name is Naveen Randad. I'm from Bhagirat Textiles. We are manufacturer of grade yarns and knitted fabrics.
So as you must have seen, yarns, knit fabrics, processing of fabrics, garment apparels, denim integrated operation, denim also garmenting experience. So we have all kind of sectors being represented in the panel today. So I would like to ask this panel particularly, knowing the current infrastructure, I would like to start from say Naveen. Where do you see कि विदर्भ को क्या चीज रोक रही है? हमने काफी डिस्कशन की है. शॉर्ट में आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे? क्या रोक रहा है विदर्भ को और क्या इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की कमी? ओनली इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे हम बात करें तो व्हाट इज इट लैकिंग इन विदर्भा टू मेक इट द नेक्स्ट प्राइम डेस्टिनेशन?
I think अगर हम raw material की बात करें तो we are quite blessed that we have one of the best qualities of raw material और उससे allied processing industry भी मतलब spinning and weaving have grown to an extent, knitting is coming up. लेकिन एक चीज जो हम फील करते हैं एज ग्रेट सप्लायर दैट वी आर अवे फ्रॉम मार्केट्स. तो जो लॉजिस्टिक्स कॉस्ट है विदर्भ में टू गेट टू अहमदाबाद और टू गेट टू तिरुपुर और टू गेट टू कोलकाता और टू गेट टू लुधियाना विच आर द 4 मेजर हब्स ऑफ प्रोसेस्ड निटेड फैब्रिक, वहां पे वी फील अ लिटिल बिट डिसएडवांटेजेस बिकॉज ऑफ दिस लॉजिस्टिक्स कॉस्ट. आई थिंक दैट इज समथिंग इफ दैट कैन बी ऑप्टिमाइज्ड और रिड्यूस्ड इट विल बी अ बिग पुश.
So basically you feel that the cost is the issue. Infrastructure exists, but the cost is an issue.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe the competition needs to be increased.
I would say we have to become more competitive than
The logistics sector.
Exactly.
Logistics sector has
Logistics
become
as
more.
well as our operating cost also in terms of power, but that's a different topic altogether. But getting to the market should be more efficient, especially if we have to compete with mills or grade manufacturers who are based in Tirupur or who are based in Ludhiana, for instance, Nahar. If we have to compete with them, we have to be able to get there within 2 to 3 rupees of transport. So that is where the work is required.
Right. Yeah. Vedant.
So I think the transport aspect is very true, that the market is mainly in Ahmedabad and a lot in Gujarat and Rajasthan or Tirupur. So I think for graze yarn sales, we do see that the transport plays a big role. Now coming to our denim operations, which is a fully integrated unit, I believe since we have everything from fiber to fabric, finished fabric there, we don't see infrastructure being a big hurdle when it comes to just the Vidarbha region. So in the grand scheme of things, when I look at infrastructure, it is a point to be noted for India. In denim fabrics, fabrics is a big capacity all over India. But when it comes to garmenting, we utilize less than 5% of the entire denim fabric produced in India in an organized garment sector. We have a huge unorganized sector, but when it comes to an organized garment sector, we are less than 5%. So I think that's where the infrastructure is lacking, not just in Vidarbha, but all over in India. Karnataka is still doing much better compared to other states, because you have few players over there, but nowhere else in India have we been able to develop an organized capacity, and I'll talk about the reasons, I think, later on in the discussion.
So 2 things I understood from your talk was, one is the market is away. So that is, we don't have the market here. That is what you mean to say in terms of infrastructure. Second, that we have too many unorganized players, but that applies not only to Vidarbha, but to across the country, you say.
Yes.
So it's not peculiar to Vidarbha.
So I would say in India, the organized players, at least when it comes to denim, right, we only see in Karnataka. We
Right.
don't see this capacity being developed
So it's
anywhere outside.
It's a sectoral problem then, I
It
will
is
say.
a sectoral problem.
Yeah.
And unorganized players are again there all over India, but not in Vidarbha.
Right.
So Vidarbha, at the core, garmenting does not exist at all. Let it be organized or unorganized. We would prefer it to be organized capacities developing, because that's the way the country needs to move forward in order to progress.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Vedant. नितिन जी, रेमंड वी ऑल नो इज ए बिग ब्रांड. आपने भी मल्टीपल प्लांट्स ऑपरेट किए हैं. यू मस्ट हैव सीन फ्रॉम क्लोज क्या जरूरत थी, क्या कमी है इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में, लॉजिस्टिक्स, पावर, लेबर, स्किल सेंटर्स, जो भी है इनमें से क्या आपको लगता है विदर्भ में और आने से और यहाँ यूनिट्स आई होती?
सो विदर्भा में और यूनिट आने की हमने जिससे डिस्कशन किया था, एक तो लेबर इज अ बिग इशू. इट्स नॉट अबाउट अवेलेबिलिटी और स्किल. It's about the day you open up, people are very humble and people are very down to earth. And after few years, they change the color. And then it becomes a headache to handle them. In fact, we have a fabric plant at Yavatmal and we have 170 acres. So the mindset was we will have a forward integration and we'll have a garmenting there. So it will be logistically very good for us. But over a period of time, we thought that it is better to go to Bangalore than to have it in Yavatmal. And the sole reason was this issue. I don't think there is any dearth of availability of people. And now that in garmenting, particularly, you have a lot of ladies working. So there is a lot of opportunity to employ all of them and make good use of them. As and when a corporate gets involved, the union baji becomes a big headache. And that to me is a biggest hurdle. Besides, there are infrastructural things can be developed. Remaining everything can be addressed, but except this. So I will underline that.
Right. So as per Nitin ji, I think infrastructure is adequate, but it's all about the relationship with the labor and how that the labor union tussle with the management.
See, with the double engine infrastructure, if you ask anything, I think if it is not available, within a couple of years it will be there.
Right.
When we can have metro at Nagpur, then having infrastructure supporting industry is not a big deal.
Right. Now we have someone, Vaidesh, ये नागपुर से बैंगलोर गए, Vaidesh साउथ से नागपुर आए हैं. So let us understand from his perspective, what does he have to say, what does he feel about this region, infrastructure particularly, all the most important elements, power, labor, wages, skill, everything, whatever I mentioned to him.
It's a super town actually, Nagpur. The infrastructure, no question. We're coming from Chennai, the potholes, the roads, the metros. It's a whole different world over here in Nagpur, definitely. Hands down, the ministers have done a really good. And the people who were talking this morning, well educated, they have a vision, and it's a very exciting time to be and at least put up in Nagpur and do business in Nagpur. Every place, of course, there are challenges too. We came from Chennai to Nagpur mainly in search of tailors. So we are into processing and then finished garments. So it's a very different kind of landscape than spinning thing. So by the time you are able to process 50 tons of fabric and make it into garments and ship it out, it's a big headache. There's a lot of work, a lot of challenges. So we are not looking at the scale in which you guys are doing, spinning huge tons. Having said that, in the processing, for example, in Tirupur, you have a big cluster of lot of garment units. That cluster really plays a big role. So because
I think it's called Textiles'Khasdar or something. That one big mall is there where you have all kind of shops, everybody coming together like that market, housing market. Anybody can recall? I think in Coimbatore there's one building where you have
it's an E-road. Tex Valley.
Thank you. Tex Valley, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so all the government they are able to come together and sell their product to the consumer directly at a very reasonable cost, right?
No, what I'm trying to mean is the cluster over there in Tirupur. There are so many garmenters. The garmenter, so if you have to do a 26 count yarn, you can keep producing it because you can make it for stock. For us, if we have to do it blue, we have to do it to the customer's blue. We have to do that Mickey Mouse print. So in that case, if there is a cluster, the orders keep flowing in. So over here in Nagpur, since the garment apparel manufacturers are very less. Because of that, the processing, we need to have that kind of load to do it. In Tirupur, you can easily get from one factory, two factory, three factory. That I see it's missing over here.
Very, very nice point he has pointed out. A cluster is missing. So it is coming from an apparel manufacturer. So you can understand the important point in an apparel manufacturing is basically the cluster, the role of cluster. So orders don't come directly. So garmenters come to the place where you have cluster, where they have options also. That if not this buyer, then this is a buyer available. So I think that is what he is feeling here, right? So even though there's more competition, so he is inviting more competition. So there are some times when even competition works to your favor, and that is what he is trying to say, and which is what Vidarbha is lacking. I think we discussed this point in the morning also, that till we have that cluster approach, and only the clusters work in processing and garmenting. So that is what is missing when it's talking about infrastructure. So I would request you, Kamakshi, what is government's view on doing this? Something to do with the cluster, like if government can come out with a policy like a Tex Valley thing where you have a building or at least a place like housing where you have offices given to manufacturer and they sitting with their samples and customer flying in and doing it. Something like that. How can that be done? And how can we pull as a government, what are you planning to do to get those garmenters in the vicinity of Vidarbha?
So I think with respect to infrastructure of a particular factory, of a particular area is something that we're sorted with respect to MIDC land, the infrastructure that we have. With respect to a park-based system, it's something that we are moving on to. Maybe the next step is to develop a buyer-seller cluster meet that we discussed. So maybe that entire chain so that that gets covered somewhere. Because we have individual units, we have a park-based system, we have schemes like mini textile park, technical textile parks, where the entire agenda is to have different people coming together and probably, having one input as an output for the other industry and maybe one output as an input for the other industry. That's how the integrated approach works. But definitely I agree that, somewhere this buyer-seller or maybe a marketing aspect to that is missing, and that is something which we discussed.
Exactly. I think very correctly you have understood the point raised by Vaidesh, where infrastructure is taken care at the unit side, like parks and everything. But what we need is a buyer-seller interaction, how buyers can be pulled in. And I think for that, unless we give them options, we don't see buyers flocking into Vidarbha to give garment orders and resultantly the flow going down upstream with processing and say weaving or knitting.
Because this is also the opportunity with, when we say China +1 strategy, when we say Bangladesh, for India to reap it. Until the time we don't have this kind of a cluster somewhere, and of course Maharashtra can lead that, we will not be able to reach where we want to. With respect to also the buyer-seller, I feel the entire reason of having Bharat last year, and also we'll be participating as a knowledge partner state this year, was to see and explore how the Indian market responds to it, which was a very, very positive response. It was one of the biggest textile expos that happened last year, not just India, but globally as well. So definitely the vision is there. Maybe that implementation is in a phased manner right now.
As you said, Bharat Tex is a national event, but ultimately everybody would come to Delhi and probably go back from there. But to get the buyer to Vidarbha area, maybe say Amravati Textile Park or say other textile parks which we are, as a government, we are planning to set it up. How can we think about some policy framework where we have that kind of setup where people come together in an office kind of environment and buyers come over regularly? So the units need to come up and we need to give that facility where they can have this kind of interaction with the buyer. I hope government will cover that in the coming time. Thank you, Kamakshi. Now taking to the next step, which is basically labor, very rightly mentioned by Nitinji, is an important element in textile. We have seen various labor related issues, some tussles, some agreement related locks, which actually result into disharmony between both the sides. So we know that labor laws which were to be eased out, made simpler, 4 labor laws, fixed term employment, many keywords which government has been talking about, but somehow we as entrepreneurs have not been able to take use of these policies, particularly fixed term employment. I would really like to understand people like Raymond who are into garmenting also and Vaidesh. Have you been able to taste some benefit coming from these easier to do policies or ease of doing business policies like FT and say contract workers, allowing contract workers, third shift, allowing for women. Have you found any benefit of these?
So we've started this government unit over here in Butiburi. Right now it's a strength of about 500 people. The tailors are really good. They're doing a good job. The quality that's coming out is good. They're disciplined and mostly women tailors. So we're very happy with it. In terms of labor policies, again, setting up a garment unit, you don't need too much of infrastructure. 1 or 2 crores, you can put up a nice 1,000 machine place. It's all about the operating cost. You have to pay the salaries, and the salary is a key component in this garmenting. So when we want to scale up, we have a vision of like 1,000, 2,000 people over here. When we want to scale up, the thing is, Madhya Pradesh has like a 5,000 rupee benefit, subsidy being, I was just mentioning it to Naveen the other day. So that 5,000 rupees per tailor, and if you put 1,000 tailors, it's 50 lakh rupees per month. So how do we compete? So that's one of the main dilemmas that we are in right now.
Our Deputy Secretary Pawar Saab is also there in the house. So, sir, I would request you to note this point that the subsidy on labor is going to be quite a big attraction for anybody to come in and set up garment units. I hope that goes as an important element to bringing garmenting within the Vidarbha region. Yeah.
So this is garment specific question, right? Garment specific,
Safety and all those labor policies.
Yeah.
Are you seeing anything or are you experiencing anything?
Of course. I mean, if I have to compare my experience with Yavatmal and Karnataka, there we are working since 2000 and still we are paying minimum wages depending on their skill grade. So which is a big difference between what you have it here and there. So labor cost, of course, is a very important aspect. The second most important aspect is we keep talking about the shifting of Bangladesh business to India, considering whatever is going on there. So that hasn't happened really very well up till now, and the reason is the efficiency with which the Bangladeshi workers have been working and the efficiency which we get it from here. So it is something which is upskilling them, skill-wise and mentality-wise both. So it's a task which is to be done in collaboration with industry and the government support. Unless that happens, because as he rightly pointed out, you have a big cost in salary or wages of the workers in garmenting. Now, if the same person produces 500 and 1,000, it becomes half. So upskilling them is very important to my opinion.
Yeah, very correct. I think to the point, the whole thing is that Bangladesh wasn't Bangladesh on day one. Even they have become what they are today only because of the training which has gone into the process, and why they could afford to give the training is, as he very rightly mentioned, because the costs were low, so you could devote some people to train them so that the cost wasn't so negative that you were getting troubled that okay, 10 लोगों को आज ट्रेनिंग दे भी दिया तो कोई बहुत बड़ी कॉस्ट नहीं लग रही. लेकिन हमारे यहाँ जहाँ पर डे कॉस्ट 800 रुपए 700 रुपए है, उसमें यदि हम 10 लोगों को रोज ट्रेनिंग देने लग जाए, 8,000 रुपए डेली के लगने लग जाए, तो डेफिनेटली एक बहुत ही नेगेटिव हो जाता है और उतना टाइम हम नहीं दे पाते हैं.
We can have a training school wherein people can get trained. We have ITIs and infrastructure like that. That could be put to use with the help of government.
That's what. But I don't think we have it today. Like the skill institutes in
no,
we don't have it, right?
No.
So Vidarbha doesn't have a training institute which can give you ready-made apparel, efficient labor force.
No.
We don't have, right? Nowhere in India. Okay.
No, there are some. India we have.
Right. You have it? Okay.
In fact, just to tell you, GSW, we had the General Sahab here. In collaboration with USHA, they are running a CSR project in Nagpur itself.
Government, non-government is not important. But
So,
but the point, yeah.
So we are already in formulation of a skill GR, which consists of a committee that will have a sector skill council, which will have universities like Maharashtra State Skill University, MSSU, and other ITIs will be there, such that these gaps can be bridged, first identified, then bridged, and this skilling and skilling can happen. So that's already part of the state plan.
Right. Thank you.
Madam, my request is whenever it is going to happen, let's also set the benchmark, because with a mindset some trainers comes out and then they think that 500 per day is a good number, which is where the whole issues are.
Right. Anybody using these schemes which I was talking about? Third shift labor, FTE, fixed term employment?
I just wanted to add on the whole garmenting situation because I've studied it extensively. In fact, we've had a better experience. We've been in garmenting, not in Vidarbha, but in Telangana. And we exited, and it wasn't just an issue to do with Telangana as such, but I think it's the whole country. And I believe India has just missed the boat. We don't understand garmenting at all, period. Even now, the discussions that we are having on the panel, this approach just doesn't work. And we've tried this approach again and again and again, and we'll never be able to do what Vietnam or Bangladesh or China or Indonesia have been able to do over the years with this approach that we are taking. The reason being that, A, for garmenting to work at such a scale, we need to look at it as an industry, like an industrial process, not like setting up just a shed with workers. Bangladesh today has one factory with about 10,000 workers in each one of them. India, on the other hand, we only have two players in the whole country, which are Gokuldas and Shahi. Besides them, we don't have a third single large garment maker. The reason being that if we want to really focus on garmenting, we'll have to export huge quantities and work it on a shift line basis, where efficiency and wages both are very, very critical. Like we've spoken about skill retention, the reason we need skilled workers is that worker retention numbers are very poor in India. And that's true in Bangladesh as well. But when 10% of the workforce leaves in Bangladesh, there's a 10% ready workforce which is ready to come in and fill the gap. In India, when 10% leaves, the 10% which comes in, it takes 3 times the time it takes in Bangladesh to get trained, and your cost goes up. Even having a full trained workforce in India, the shift line efficiency in India is literally 48 or 49% compared to Bangladesh. Thirdly, the wages in India are already higher than Bangladesh. So the economics are just not working out in any of the areas. But this doesn't stop China from excelling in garments. And why is that? China has $1,000 minimum wage, and they're actually paying that. And even then they are succeeding. The reason being that the government understands that if they want this industry to run, they will have to subsidize, they will have to create the cluster and pump in the finance from the government side. I think this is where India is missing the boat. If you really want government to succeed in India, the government involvement from a strategic point of view is going to have to be very, very high. But especially a region like Vidarbha, given that the labor laws that are prevalent, garmenting in 1,000 years, I don't think, unless we change the mindset completely, I really doubt it's going to work.
Thank you. Okay. Naveen, would you like to speak something on this? From your knitting, you have put up a new knitting plant, and about any new policy which is going in favor, helping out to ease of doing business?
Definitely, the capital subsidy is very supportive, and the industrial policy of Maharashtra is also quite conducive. So that way, the incentives are very good. But again, to scale up, there are always apprehensions. I mean, if you remember a few months back when the policy had come and there was a capping on an energy subsidy. So if you want to compete globally in textile market, you have to be big. But whereas sometimes the indications and the policy from the government kind of encourages you to be small and be fragmented. So that's quite counterproductive. I think that clarity, if it comes from the government, that will be good. And as far as labor policies, I think we avail NAPS scheme, which I think for spinning is very good. But again, the issue comes of timely disbursal of NAPS allowances. That creates a lot of issues, especially in a very labor-intensive industry like spinning, where it becomes very difficult to manage 300, 400 trainees if they don't get their incentives on time and if there is a delay of 3-4 months.
True. Coming to the next point, which is basically when will you make an investment, further investment? What's your plan? What do you think will be the trigger for you to make that next investment, and that too also in Vidarbha? What is the change, or what is that one trigger point which will help you make this decision? Let's start from Vaidesh, from you particularly.
We are always looking to expand. So the market is good. At least the export market, the apparel market is good. There's a lot of orders in the market, and the capacity is where the concern is. We need to have those tailors. I agree to a certain extent on his point where you need 10,000 people, so it's huge factories. And even in apparel, there is a core business and fashion business. And for us, we are more towards the fashion business, so we cannot probably get 10,000 people to do it. What will trigger us to make the investment? Operation cost. We don't want capital subsidies, we want operational subsidies. Electricity is good compared to Tirupur or Tamil Nadu. The electricity is cheaper. Labor, probably we can look at it, once again, reiterate what I said.
Thank you. Nitin ji?
So, अभी जैसे बताया आपने, denim, we are into that sector, and globally, if not globally, at least nationally, it is going through a bad phase for quite some time. So expansion as of now is out of question. जो है वो बचा लें तो बड़ी बात है. So of course, if it is on expansion, presently nothing.
And no, I mean, technical textile or any other segment?
Nothing. Not for the denim segment of it.
But okay.
Raymond, if you are asking, then we are exploring certain things for Amravati.
Right.
So that is under exploration as of now.
But no trigger point, means it's already clear that you are going ahead.
Almost, yeah. I mean, we are exploring. If it is making sense to go ahead, we will be going ahead.
Okay. So Vedant, you have already done away with your garment thing. So where are you looking at growth?
I think you were talking about what would trigger growth, because honestly we are in the same boat right now, where it's all about jo hai wo bacha lo, wo अच्छे से चल जाए. That's more than enough for us. But growth, especially in the Vidarbha region, two things. A is going to be a very dynamic shift in workplace policies. It has to be political and through government policy making. I think that's big. And the second thing would be on the central level, a relook on the policies of cotton fiber. I think the import duties and whatnot, which is on a global level, which doesn't make us competitive. I think if these two things are changed on the state level and the central level, I think nothing's stopping India. Yeah.
Okay. Naveen?
I represent spinning and knitting, purely gauge. For us, power is a major factor of our cost. Raw material more or less is controlled by the government in our country. So there is not much that we can do.
Either government or the big two.
Or big two. So we have big two. So I think the only place where most of the costs are stable for everyone, only leeway or only space where there is power. So when I'm looking to invest or make a big capex, which is usually runs into hundreds of crores in spinning at least, I need certain stability in my power cost, because that makes or breaks a unit. So if I invest another 150 crores for setting up another spinning unit, and suddenly tomorrow the power cost goes up by 2 rupees a unit, the unit just becomes unviable. So I think that's a big fear, especially in the segment that I represent.
Thank you. I think it's a pretty good insight for comment to know that how the investment can be pumped in. So last round of my this panel discussion, any message that you would like to give to fellow entrepreneurs or government or other, say even potential entrepreneurs, that how you see the textiles going further with the current scenario? We all spoke about the scenario. I don't want to repeat it. So with the current scenario, what do you think any potential exists, and how do you think, what message you have for Indian textiles?
Tremendous potential. One on these cost factors, we always want to optimize, we want to bring it down. The other thing is value addition. We have a huge scope of value addition, and that's all in our hands. Fashion designers, merchandisers, identifying new products, bringing up new designs, innovation, all of those things can really boost up our margins. There are some companies in Delhi that are like 30%, 40% margin companies, and actively doing that.
There's a question.
So I think that's the message I want to bring. There's always opportunity, there's always innovation that we can think of.
उम्मीद पे दुनिया कायम है. So there's always a hope to do well. And so far as my message here is like program like AID, and as we discussed, kind of set up infrastructure wherein buyer-seller meet can happen, either in a permanent infrastructure or on fair kind of things. That can trigger more business. And the message to the young gen is there is always an opportunity like judo in existence if you apply yourself. In this market, when everybody was crying, they have touched the sky for their profits. So if you apply yourself, you will definitely, हम लोग नहीं कर पा रहे, हो सकता है with new energy and new thought making process, you can come out with something which can repeat or recreate the story of things like judo. Thank you.
Thank you. Vedant.
I think the scope for India, as it currently stands, is in focusing on niche and value-added products. I think commodities is something which is always going to eat up, and India is just not the right space for it right now. So focusing on niche products, value-added products, technical products, which can be of smaller volume but high value, I think that's what India is geared up to be, at least for the current state. Yeah.
I think despite all the challenges that are there in textile industry, I would just like to say this to all the entrepreneurs, especially in Maharashtra and hence in Vidarbha, that we have a very progressive mindset government and a very proactive textile department, which has always lent us a ear whenever we have gone to them with a problem, and whenever practically possible has actually attended to it and solved it. I think if you remember, we had power issue, and whenever we made our representation, that was rectified and it was resolved. So I think textile definitely has a very good prospective future, and with the kind of administration that is there in the Maharashtra, I think you should definitely look at it as a very kind of a prospective sector to invest in.
Some golden words for the years of Kamakshi. So good job by the government, appreciation from the entrepreneurs, very good. I think from the talk we would have gauged that garment and knitting sector is definitely doing well. They see potential. Denim is definitely in trouble. We can see that. So we know now where to place our bets. We'll request government now that having understood everything, what's their key take or what's their suggestion to the entrepreneurs? What do you want we entrepreneurs to work on, progress from?
So I think firstly, I completely agree and understand the labor issue that has been brought up, but it's not textiles purview, so I will not be able to comment on that. It's more towards the labor department. I personally, in my last 2-3 years of experience of working with the government of Maharashtra and textiles department, I've seen a lot of gap with respect to skill and a similar gap with respect to the testing facilities that we have. That is somewhere also a bottleneck for the export market to grow. If we can have, since all entrepreneurs are there here, if we can have a testing or a certification this agency, or maybe you say, you want to come out with the body or whatever, these certifications or testing facilities have to be somewhere brought up, and Vidarbha can be actually a big area right now, considering PM Mitra Park is coming up. If we can have something of that sort here itself, wherein whatever products are being made, or they can be tested and they can be actually export oriented as well. This is something which is in my mind. Other than that, the government has always heard suggestions, have always taken proactive steps. Minister Sir, we all heard how proactively he's encouraging the industry to come. So whatever steps, whatever discussions we've had, we would definitely go and deliberate upon them. So that's definitely coming up.
Thank you very much, Kamakshi. So now I'll open the quorum or the question for the question answer. If anybody has any question or any comment, but short one, please. Yeah. Excuse me, mic low.
Hello. My question is to Bhagirath Industry, your denim, Suryalata, to you also. Now, as a garment manufacturer, what we have seen, you are selling your product to, knitting product to Ludhiana. You are selling your product to Delhi or Bombay.
Long distance area.
Long distance.
Yeah.
So you have never tried to develop local manufacturer. If I have been to China, I went to one denim manufacturer. So he showed me few denim trousers. Look, this is my fabric, and garment will be like this. After wash, it will be like this. Then I said, I want to make few. So he gave me 5 meters. But I want to make this. So he gave me for every trouser which I was asking, he gave me 5 meters. Go and make. So I took that fabric and went to another vendor who was a manufacturer. I bought this free fabric from the fabric manufacturer. So I went to the garment maker. He made for me. Then I gave him the order. Similarly for t-shirts, for jackets, for blazers. So when you go to China, why can't you, as a knitted manufacturer, you try to give support to 10 manufacturers? Okay, this kind of t-shirt can be made from my product, and you can make this way. I give you 5 meters, 3 meters, 10 meters. Go and try to sell. Show to the shopkeepers and book the orders, and then come and buy fabric from me. Same way, you have made an excellent fabric, Gimatex fabric, which I saw initially, lycra trousers. You were the first to make in India, and one of the first person to make in India. But I have never seen, I saw a grey, but I have never seen your finished product. All finished product you sold at either in Mumbai or the Bangalore or either in Delhi. Same way, denim also. If you can try some people, manufacturers, and give them little fabric, little support. Support is just simple. You get and make some things from Bombay, Delhi, bring the show and show them this my product. You get this output, and I give you some fabric, make it. So this way you will develop Nagpurians, at least 10. Every manufacturer, like Raymond will develop 10 factories, you will develop 10 factories, you will develop 10.
Kishore, understood. Yeah. So what he means to say is that we as entrepreneurs or manufacturers here have failed to develop our own partners downstream by supporting them in terms of development. This is what he means to say. So who would like to answer on their own?
I can speak for denim. I can't speak for the other categories. Yeah. I think industry in general, right? Let it be us or more so Raymond than us even. The amount of R&D we do in terms of making a garment and presenting how because the denim is a very peculiar fabric. It's a very interesting fabric because it has to wash down. And with each wash, you get a different product. So one fabric can technically get you 15 to 20 products. And this activity that we do is the heart and is the soul of our company. And it's something that we love so much. And every person in the organization loves it so much. And that's the only reason that we are surviving. And that I think it's more so true for Raymond. We just love our product so much. And we do make a very genuine effort to share it downstream with a lot of garment vendors, sharing the products, sharing what we have washed down. And that's the reason why we are surviving. If you look at any other player in denim, outside with our costs, and especially more so for Raymond and even ours. At our cost, there's no one in the country who's surviving with these costs if they didn't love the product and the way we're marketing it, the way we're developing.
No,
I think,
what he is not saying that you don't have innovation. He's saying you have too much innovation you have available with you. You are not supporting them. That's what his question is. You are not reaching to them. We are not reaching to our consumers or developing those people. That's what his question is. It's not question on your talent.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a complaint. But I don't think we've made a lot of efforts to reach out to the small manufacturers as well.
But
and
they are
we
not
keep
feeling it. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
So what are we doing for weavers?
Sorry.
What are we doing for weavers?
The question is on. Just a minute.
Right.
Any answer? And you would like to add?
I think it's a good suggestion and definitely can be looked at. But probably if we have a kind of a directory or a database, which all companies are there, which are into, let's say, in garmenting also, there are knits garmenters, there are woven garmenters. So if we have this database, of course, from your association, definitely we would be more proactive in reaching out to you.
Right. Anything to be added? I think it's a very valid point. The responsibility lies on us also, how to develop our market. I think in my initial introductory speech itself, I mentioned that to grow our region, we have to start doing business within ourselves. This is what I mentioned, if you recall. That's what I mean. The spinner has to sell the yarn to local knitter or a weaver. Knitter has to make the processing done in this region. They have to eventually sell the fabric to garmenters. So this will only happen once the sampling and the connect is there for development. So that's what I meant. If this region has to grow, this has to happen, which is missing in this region. And definitely we'll look at it. Very, very positive suggestion. We'll make a directory so that we also use the directory to market ourselves better. Yeah. 1 minute. Yeah.
I'm just reminded of something here. There's a quote by Michael Jordan, which I'm reminded of the situation here, that individual win games, but teamwork win championships. So if India has to actually, as a country, boom in textile sector, it has to be a teamwork of all stakeholders and, of course, all players together.
Right. Yeah. We really want government also to take some lead in this because they have the complete list available for us. As a manufacturer or as an association, not easy to compile it up. A government can they have all the repository of all the details.
See, the whole idea of getting this e-textile portal that we are, talking about right now was that we understood a lot of sectors unorganized, considering we don't have a direct data out of it. Even when we initiated the policy, we had to go to Pollution Control Board to get some data of, what certificates they have. Industry department had some other list. So the entire reason that we're doing this e-textile portal is to have the entire textile ecosystem of Maharashtra at one place. So of course this is already in
now
place.
It will be done.
It will be there.
But
I request everyone to please register on the portal and get your TRN textile registration number, which will be a mandate.
Without that, you're not giving subsidies.
No
so
subsidy
is going to do.
if you've not registered.
Right. Yeah, ma'am. You had something to say?
Yeah, I have two suggestions to the government. The apparel, I'm Venkat from Innovative Textile. There's a suggestion only. Actually, so much we discussed on the apparel improvement in Vidarbha. The apparel is standing on SAM. Actually, in Bangladesh, why Bangladesh succeed? They're standing standard average minute. That need to be studied from Bangladesh, how they are competitive. Our standard average minute is 5 rupees in India, whereas in Bangladesh coming 2 rupees, 2.5 rupees or 3 rupees maximum. So government have to put an agency and study and to support how it will be implemented in Vidarbha. The other thing is my request to have a NABL or very good lab in Vidarbha. That should be in Nagpur. That should be in Nagpur. Or you request, even NABL come also, it will not solve the problem. You should request like SGS and BV. You have to, government have to pressure them to come into Nagpur. We'll also support from ourselves.
Yeah. Mike, up.
I was asking what are we doing for weavers? We have opened 40 centers. We have taught them weaving in all village, rural areas. So for skill development and for helping to get employment, what is textile industry?
So for weavers service centers, there's a provision in the policy to get a particular financial assistance. You can just refer to that once. If you are eligible in that criteria, you can definitely get those financial assistance.
We have gone to Weavers Center. Weavers Center people went with us to Ramtek, gave them training. They learned from the centers also. And 700 weavers were trained during our tenure.
So there is a policy. Madam,
Okay.
they have a policy to financially support them.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any more? Thank you everyone. I think we are just half an hour away from our grand fashion show. आइए ना, घेने जी, आइए। आइए।
Hey, check one. Hey, check one.
Requesting all of you to please be seated for a minute more, and requesting all the panelists and moderator to stay back for the felicitation. Requesting our moderator, Mr. Prashant Mahotsav, to one by one felicitate all our speakers for the day with a token of appreciation and gratitude. Requesting our moderator, Mr. Prashant Mahotsav, to please felicitate Mr. Nitin Srivastava, the CEO of Raymond Uco. Requesting Mr. Prashant Mahotsav to please felicitate our panelist, Mr. Nitin Srivastava, the CEO of Raymond Uco. Also Mr. Vedanta Agrawal from Surya Lakshmi Industries Limited. Requesting for your attention for the next 1 minute. Ladies and gentlemen, dear delegates, the audience, requesting for your kind attention for the next 1 minute. We are still not done with the event. We still have the felicitations pending for the moderator and also the panelists. Requesting Mr. Prashant Mahotsav to please felicitate Mr. Nitin Srivastava. Also Mr. Vedanta Agrawal from Surya Lakshmi Industries. Ms. Kamakshi Verma, the policy consultant for the government of Maharashtra. Mr. Vedesh Ramkumar from the Innovative Textiles Limited. Mr. Naveen Randed from Shri Bhagirath Textiles Limited. And last but not the least, after all the panelists are felicitated, I would like to call upon Mr. Pawar, the Honorable Deputy Secretary for the Government of Maharashtra, to come up to the stage and felicitate our moderator, Mr. Prashant Mahotsav. One for Mr. Naveen Randed as well. Requesting Mr. Naveen Randed to please come up to the stage to accept the felicitation. Thank you so much to all the panelists. And in the end, I would request Mr. Pawar, the Honorable Deputy Secretary for the Government of Maharashtra, to please come up to the stage to felicitate our moderator, Mr. Prashant Mahotsav. If sir is here. Thank you so much. In the end, I would like to request Mr. Prashant Mahotsav to propose a vote of thanks and also make the further announcements for the much awaited fashion show this evening. Thank you.
I'll really keep it very short. Thank you very much, all of you. Limited, few, but I think most important was impactful. That's what our session was. Thank you all of you for gracing the occasion. Thank you so much, Naveen, for ensuring that our seminar is organized in a right manner. Thank you so much, Naveen. And my co-convener, Nitinji, thank you for being alongside and helping me plan this event. Thank you very much, everyone. All the stakeholders of textile, our panelists, thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.